Hello everyone, this is Watson, and today we're going to learn how to choose the perfect camera for our surveillance camera system. Now let's take a look at the common features of these surveillance cameras. First of all, it's how we provide the power. Well, most surveillance cameras, they still have the traditional way of using a power cord to connect to it and provide the power. But also, many cameras are enabled with PoE. When they're PoE enabled, they're PoE standard, and we can use PoE signals to power it up. PoE is the technology to transmit power and data through a single Ethernet cable. And once we have PoE ready, we can just use an Ethernet cable connected to it, and then the power and data will all go to this camera through that Ethernet cable. It will make it very convenient, and it's safe to operate because the PoE standard voltage is lower than the maximum for human contact. So it is really safe for us to connect, plug and unplug multiple devices constantly. And also, PoE is plug and play. That's really easy for us to operate. We just plug in the Ethernet cable to our device, and everything, there's no configurations needed. Everything will be very easy. So if we want like an easy setup and less messy, because if we have an extra power cord, it's going to be a little bit messy when we handle the wiring, then we can choose to see if our camera has PoE enabled in it. Then it's the lens type, camera type, and our image quality. Usually the image quality, we can select 5 megapixels, but if we have more needs or higher demands, we can go more higher resolutions for yourself, but usually commonly 5 megapixels is enough. And for lenses, you can choose CMOS, you can choose other lenses, it doesn't really matter as long as it fits your demands. Then let's take a look at the camera's compatibility. So the compatibility is just like if it can successfully connect with our NVR. An NVR is a network video recorder. This device will help us record our video image and save it on a hardware storage device, and it can help us connect to a monitor, and we can view our live video feed on that monitor. And usually if we want them to connect to each other successfully, they need to be able to, speak to each other. And on-VIF, if our camera is on-VIF compatible, it means it can basically connect to any other device, because on-VIF is this protocol which basically is a universal language for all these electronic devices. So once it's on-VIF compatible, it definitely can be able to connect to that NVR you have. Then let's talk about something really cool. So, if you have a surveillance camera set up in like your backyard or back door, you want to record when something happens, not keeping it on 24/7. If you keep it on 24/7, that's gonna take up much of your storage for recordings, and also it kind of reduces your camera's lifespan, and we don't want that. So if you have like motion detection and also you have human detector on your camera, which is that special feature, it means whenever there's something moving in front of the camera, or if you detect a human, it will trigger the camera and it will start recording at that moment. In this case, it will save us very valuable information for us, and we don't have to always keep the camera recording that image again and again for a long time. Sometimes we can check for if they have audio built in this camera. So if we have like microphones built in here, and sometimes the camera is close to the area it's surveillancing, audio will be useful as well, because it can capture the voice and then record it as well. Then in the future, if something happens, it will be valuable information for us as well. So if you need, like you're certain if you start recording, you're gonna want the sound of the image or the recordings, you should ask if they have a built-in microphone, if they have audio features enabled. Finally, then there's night vision, because during the night times, there's no light to reflect and give us a very good image for the sensors. But if we have infrared built in these cameras, they can provide us a black and white image. It's not colorful, but it's a very clear image. It gives us enough detail to let us recognize what that object is. So if we plan to let our camera be useful during night, we're gonna have to make sure it has infrared built in. It will be able to provide us clear images during the dark surroundings as well. So night vision, you have to know if you need it or not. So these are the basic features you should be looking forward into, and you should know the priorities, know which ones you need the most, and then you can choose their camera accordingly. And if you have more demands, you can ask them. If you have any more questions about this, you can leave them at the section below. And that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.